Discover a Vietnam you've never seen before, hidden wonders, secret places, and soulful escapes that go far beyond the tourist trail. Vietnam, as most people imagine it, is a tapestry of lantern-lit streets, bustling markets, and those iconic limestone bays that seem to float on mist. But what I'm going to reveal is something deeper, quieter, and infinitely more profound. A Vietnam where time moves differently, where the land holds stories in its silence, and where beauty is not always loud, but always present if you know how to look. Our journey begins in the far north, in the highlands of Ha Giang and Sapa, where the land rises into the clouds and the mountains lean into the sky like ancient elders. Ha Giang doesn't welcome you with fanfare. Instead, it greets you with a silence so vast that even your thoughts seem to tread softly. The roads here cling to cliffs, winding through karst peaks that ripple like stone waves frozen in time. In villages like Dong Van and Meo Vac, life moves to a rhythm that isn't slow out of lack, but out of deep connection to the land and the seasons. Mornings burst with color and dialect at the markets, where Hmong, Tay, and Dao people gather, their clothes a riot of embroidery and tradition. Afternoons settle into mist and the scent of firewood as stone fences cradle earth and thatch homes. Here, children run barefoot, their laughter echoing off the hills, while elders sip corn wine and share stories that seem to stretch back to the beginning of memory. The strength of this region is not loud or boastful. It's carved into the land and the bones of its people. Ha Giang doesn't reveal itself easily, but if you linger, if you let the mist settle on your skin and the silence settle in your heart, you realize you're not just at the edge of Vietnam. You're standing at the edge of something eternal. Sapa, meanwhile, emerges from the mist like a dream. In the early light, the terraced rice fields shimmer gold and green, carved by hands that have shaped these hills for generations. Villages cling to the slopes, their wooden roofs soaked in silence and the chill of morning. Children dash through the fog, their laughter weaving through the valleys, while water buffaloes stand sentinel on the ridgelines, watching over land that feels more spirit than soil. The trails here don't just lead you forward, they lead you inward, each step softened by the breath of the earth and the wisdom of the mountains. Fancy Pan, the roof of Indochina, rises above it all, a place where clouds and pilgrims climb together, and where the sky feels close enough to touch. Sapa doesn't just show you nature, it invites you to become still within it, to listen to the heartbeat of the hills, and to find a kind of peace that lingers long after you leave. As we travel south, we reach Da Nang, a city that stands between mountain and sea, where the coastline at sunrise shimmers like liquid gold, and fishermen cast their nets with motions that are part work, part prayer. Just beyond the city, the Marble Mountains rise, 5 sacred peaks filled with temples, tunnels, and legends carved into stone. Inside their cool caverns, light filters through cracks in the rock, painting ancient altars in shifting patterns of dust and devotion. Da Nang's Han River slices through the city like a silver ribbon, quiet at night, glowing under dragon bridges and lantern-lit skies. But even in its modern rhythm, Da Nang carries an old breath, felt most in its quiet corners. On the Sun Tra Peninsula, ancient banyan trees twist over cliffs, and red-shanked dauk monkeys leap like ghosts through the leaves. The giant Lady Buddha stands watch above it all, not just as a monument, but as a mother of mist and wind, her gaze both protective and serene. Da Nang doesn't need to shout to be noticed. It stands between worlds, inviting you to pause, to breathe, and to feel rather than simply see. Hoi An, by contrast, glows softly, like a memory you didn't know you had. The yellow walls of its old town flake gently in the sun, and the Thu Bon River glides past, carrying lanterns and wishes with it. By dusk, the city transforms. Lanterns bloom across alleys and bridges, their colors reflected in the water, their light softening every edge. Every corner holds the hush of 1,000 footsteps. Traders, poets, lovers, folded into stone and timber. In hidden courtyards, incense burns in blue spirals beneath faded ancestral portraits, while tailors whisper over silk and old bicycles creak through streets where time seems to slow, savoring each moment. Pagodas nestle beside tea houses. Wooden doors open into homes where generations still light oil lamps with care, and the river reflects not just images, but intentions. Hoi An doesn't try to impress. It welcomes you quietly, waits for you to breathe with it, and then, like a well-told story, stays with you long after you're gone. Hanoi, in the north, is a city that doesn't rush. It walks beside you, whispering stories with every uneven brick in the old quarter. The narrow streets tangle like memory, and balconies lean close as if trading secrets over cups of morning tea. Incense curls from shrines tucked between storefronts. The clang of street vendors' carts blend with the distant echo of church bells, and the whole city hums with a rhythm that's more heartbeat than noise. At Hoan Kiem Lake, time seems to soften. Locals move in slow circles under ancient trees, and the red bridge to Ngok Sun Temple glows like a poem written in silence. Hanoi hides 1,000 rooms, French villas crumbling behind iron gates, faded murals beneath vines, tiny coffee shops where philosophy steeps beside tradition. The past isn't buried here. It's worn like a familiar coat. Hanoi doesn't ask to be understood. It waits patiently until you slow down, until you start to listen, and then it reveals itself in layers, each one softer and more intricate than the last. Heading south again, we find ourselves in the Mekong Delta, a place that doesn't rush but breathes slow and wide, cradling villages, rice fields, and mangrove forests in its muddy arms. The Mekong is more than a river. It's a lifeline, a storyteller, a quiet witness to generations built on silt and silence. Wooden boats drift through floating markets as dawn paints the sky in mango and mist. Vendors call out softly, passing pineapples and prayers between canoes in a rhythm older than roads. In the distance, stilt houses lean over canals where children swim and coconut palms sway. Here, time is measured in tide and harvest, not in clocks. Pagodas sit quietly behind banana groves, their golden spires peeking through leaves like secrets kept by the land, while fishermen mend their nets at dusk, their movements slow and certain, shaped by sun, wind, and water. The Mekong Delta doesn't try to impress. It lets you sink into its current, and once you do, you don't just see a region. You feel a way of life that flows soft but unshakable through the heart of Vietnam. Phu Quoc, off the southern coast, is not just an island, but a horizon made of silence, salt, and soft orange light. At dusk, the sun sinks into the Gulf of Thailand, turning the sea into molten gold while shadows stretch long across the sand. Fishermen anchor their boats in quiet coves, where the only sounds are waves, creaking hulls, and stories passed between generations. On the pier, baskets overflow with sea urchins and laughter, shared in rhythms that never change. Deeper inland, pepper farms scent the breeze, and jungle paths lead to waterfalls hidden beneath canopies of light. Each trail feels like a return, not just to nature, but to something quieter within yourself. Temples sit high on hills, watching tides come and go, while night markets below bloom with light, spice, and song. Between them, time dissolves, not lost, but released. Phu Quoc doesn't ask for your attention. It asks for your stillness, and in that stillness, you'll find a beauty that feels untouched, not because it's hidden, but because it never had to shout to be seen. Mui Ne is a place shaped by wind, fire, and silence. The red and white sand dunes stretch like shifting deserts, glowing beneath a sun that feels both distant and eternal. At dawn, footprints trail across soft ridges, only to vanish with the breeze as if no one ever passed through. Kite surfers dance on the horizon while fishermen pull in nets, the sea and the wind sharing center stage. Beyond the dunes, Fairy Stream flows quietly between cliffs of sandstone and moss, painting a miniature canyon where earth meets dream. You walk barefoot through warm red water, and somehow it feels like a memory. In the fishing village, blue boats sleep in rows on the tide, their hulls weathered but proud. Life here is measured in sunrises, not deadlines, in salt, windburn, and the crackle of firewood at night. Mui Ne doesn't try to hold you. It lets you go gently, like sand through your fingers. And maybe that's why it stays with you long after the waves have disappeared from view. Dalat, high in the mountains, is a cool retreat full of gardens, colonial villas, and quirky sights. The air is fresh, the pine forests are endless, and the city is dotted with lakes and flower fields. It's a place where you can slow down, breathe deep, and let the mountain mist clear your mind. Vietnam's hidden wonders aren't just above ground. The country is home to some of the world's most spectacular caves, waterfall, and sacred sites. In Phong Hai Bang National Park, you'll find Sun Dung, the largest cave on Earth, a world unto itself, complete with its own ecosystem and weather. The park is a paradise for cavers and trekkers, with lush jungles, underground rivers, and surreal rock formations. Ba Be Lake, nestled in the heart of the national park, is a serene oasis surrounded by mountains and forests. Here, you can paddle a wooden boat through tranquil waters, visit ethnic minority villages, and lose yourself in the quiet beauty of nature. Ban Giok, waterfall in Cao Bang, thunders not with chaos, but with grace, its white spray rising between cliffs like breath between two worlds. The river below runs clear and slow, as if in no hurry to leave the embrace of limestone walls. Nearby, caves like Nguom Ngao wind through the earth like living sculptures, cathedrals of stalactites hidden from time. Buddhist temples cling to forested cliffs, where incense drifts like memory. These places don't need crowds or monuments to leave a mark. They're felt in the lungs, in the silence, in the way your heartbeat slows to match the rhythm of the hills. What ties all these places together is not just their beauty, but their spirit. Vietnam is a land shaped not only by war and resilience, but by wonder and rhythm. It's a country that doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes, its beauty appears in reflection, in the way a fisherman pulls his net, or how clouds rest on mountaintops without needing to move. Each stop on this journey isn't just a place, it's a presence, asking nothing but attention and offering everything in return. Traveling through unseen Vietnam is as much a journey inward as it is across geography. You leave not with souvenirs, but with stillness, memory, and the quiet heartbeat of a land that speaks without shouting. The film reminds us that the most unforgettable experiences aren't always the ones that make the cover of guidebooks. They're the ones that invite us to slow down, breathe deep, and listen to the stories whispered by the land itself. As we leave these hidden corners behind, we carry with us not just images, but a feeling, a sense of stillness, wonder, and connection to something timeless. Vietnam's unseen wonders are an invitation to look beyond the obvious, to seek out the quiet places, and to let the land change you in ways you never expected. Whether you're a seasoned traveler or an armchair explorer, let this journey inspire you to find the hidden wonders in your own world and to cherish the beauty that doesn't need to shout to be seen. If you enjoyed this, let me know which hidden wonder surprised you the most, or share your own secret places in Vietnam. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most breathtaking destinations. Until next time, may your travels be filled with wonder, and may you always find the unseen beauty waiting just beyond the next bend.